Good evening, everyone. Boa noite, buenas noches. Welcome, class of 2037. Let that sink in for a moment. 2037. That is quite impressive. I am so glad to see that you're here with us tonight. It is such an important night for the incoming kindergarten class, and it really is awesome that you took the time to spend some time with us tonight so we can share some information with you and hopefully make the process easier and more enjoyable for you. My name is Micaeli Neves. I am the Director of Student Registration. But first and foremost, I'm a mom of 2 children. My husband and I have a 7th grader and a 5th grader. And when our oldest child went to kindergarten, we had so many concerns, such as who was going to help our daughter buy lunch, was she going to make friends, how long was it going to take for her to be used to the new routine. I'm happy to tell you that all of our concerns were gone in the first few days. This is your child's first milestone in their 13-year journey being at a school. And as the mom of 2 previous kindergartners, I must tell you, is the milestone that I miss the most. So enjoy this time, because you're never going to get it back. So why am I sharing this with you? We at the Department of Student Registration are all parents. We all have gone through what you are going through. So we want to assure you that we're here to help, that we understand your concerns, and we just want to make the process as easy as we can. At the end of this presentation, if you have any questions, you can go to the cafeteria and speak directly with the representatives from some of our departments, before and after school care providers, local agencies, and staff from student registration. I also want to thank everyone involved in making this event happen. Thank you for those that are watching live on Facebook from home. Even though you couldn't be here, but you're watching with us, thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. It takes a lot of preparation effort to have this event, and we hope that when you leave here today, or when you stop watching, that all your questions will be answered. So tonight you'll hear welcomes by our superintendent, Dr. Robert Tremblay, our school committee, Madam Chair, Ms. Jessica Barnhill. You will hear the transition to kindergarten presentation by Mrs. Christina Shea and Mrs. Mary Beth O'Brien. And I will provide an overview on student registration, controlled school choice, and school assignment. And please join me in welcoming Dr. Robert Tremblay.
Thank you, Micaeli. Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches. Boa noite. So my name is Bob Tremblay, Superintendent of the Framingham Public Schools. I've been in the district since 2017, and it's wonderful to welcome you to the class of 2037 this evening. So what I want to say is there's an amazing journey ahead of you as a parent myself. This is an incredible time, but I know it can also be a little bit of uncertainty. So let me add a little bit more to that uncertainty for you. This is important, what I'll call truth in lending. What's really exciting in Framingham is we're sitting in the brand new Fuller Middle School. It was one of our school projects. We also are excited that the Massachusetts School Building Authority this year invited Framingham into the eligibility period for a new additional elementary school. I'll try not to overcomplicate this in my remarks this evening. I don't want to take away from the event. But as you contemplate your school choice in our inter-choice program, I think it's important to understand what the future holds with that choice. So as you'll know, that we do have dual language programming in our schools available in Spanish and in Portuguese, so we have 4 strands of dual language opportunity, which is really amazing, and it's a tremendous asset to our community and something that we intend to preserve. That being said, we do have a project for the Hemingway Elementary School. Let me say this about Hemingway, because it can be a little confusing. The project submission is for Hemingway because it is one of our oldest schools and the next school to be renovated or replaced. That being said, the school is expected still to be a pre-K site for us, a pre-K kindergarten site. So simultaneously, in addition to the kindergarten information you'll have this evening, Our district is looking to a new school in the district, as well as expanding pre-K for all Framingham 4-year-olds for a full school day at no cost. That's a tremendous opportunity for our community. So all this is happening at the same time. So Hemingway is still intended to be, in its future, whether or not it remains as an elementary school, a pre-K site down the road. We have our eyes on the south side property. If you have been following Framingham decision-making and politics and votes, the mayor has acquired Bethany property. This is sort of toward Ashland, if you know the area, on the south side of Framingham, as an ideal site to situate a new elementary school. So we're not adding a 10th elementary school. We will still have 9 elementary schools that go into 3 middle schools to 1 high school. That is still the plan. So I say all this because if you are enrolling in one school, say Hemingway, there's a better than average chance that you will be not necessarily having your now soon-to-be kindergartner leaving as a 5th grader from that same school. So I know it's complicated, and I know it's probably not the thing you want to hear on a welcome night, but I also feel it's important to give you 5 or 6 years notice on something that's so important in your decision-making. I will make myself available to answer any questions, not tonight because I know it's not in the program, but you could follow up with me personally by email. I'll also be hosting a number of different Q&A forum events that will happen between now and then. Certainly there's a lot of hurdles that we'll encounter along the way, the first of which the city has to vote the project. If the project is not supported by the city of Framingham, the school doesn't happen, and what I'm saying to you doesn't matter. But in the event that the city does support this, and we hope the city does, because we are in need of this, especially if we want to expand pre-kindergarten in our community, then it will have an impact. But you'll have lots of notice about that. I want to make that reassuring to you. You're hearing it tonight, but we just were notified literally last month that we were invited into this eligibility period. There's much more to come. I will be very transparent through the entire process. I will be very available to answer any specific questions as it impacts you and your family to ensure that you have the best educational experience going through the Framingham Public Schools. So I hope that gives you at least some reassurance, and if nothing else, it speaks to how this district will be with you. We will be truthful, we'll tell you what we know, and we'll hopefully guide you along this way so that you don't have to guess and hear through the rumor mill. And that's my commitment to you. So on behalf of the entire Framingham school community, I'm going to turn it over in a moment to our school committee chair, but I wanted to just take this moment to say welcome to all of you. It's great to have you here for whether you're participating virtually tonight on a webinar or in person, and I'll be here all evening to answer any questions you may have of me specifically. It's an honor to serve and lead the Framingham Public Schools. It's an honor to serve you this evening and your children. So you are in great, capable hands going forward. And it's, again, my pleasure to welcome you this evening. So thank you so much. I'll turn it now to our school committee chair. I'm not sure, Michaela, if I'm supposed to do introductions, but since I'm here, I'll just introduce Jessica Barnhill, who is the chair of the Framingham School Committee. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Barnhill. Thank you.
Good evening. Buenos noches. Boa noite. Wow, 2037. That's wild. And it's great to see so many people here, and thank you for those of you who are joining us online. This is my 20th year as a public school teacher, and this is the recipe right here. An awesome district with talented teachers, staff, principals. We have a phenomenal superintendent, and parent engagement from our caregivers. That's the recipe right there. There are so many opportunities to be engaged, and there's no shortage of them, as you'll learn in the Framingham Public Schools, whether it be for chaperones to the zoo or PTO responsibilities. I urge you to continue to stay engaged and learn about the process. 2 years ago, I was exactly where you are right now, engaging in the kindergarten selection process. This is a very important decision for one of the most important people in your life. My son right there joins me today. He's now in 1st grade. But 2 years ago, I was making this decision for him, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy. There are so many considerations. For me, some of them were logistical. I start work at 7:15. I needed to make sure that I could drop him off and continue to keep my job. I will say, as the school committee chair, this is my 3rd term as school committee, there is no elementary school that I wouldn't feel 100% comfortable sending my child to. And you're all in the same position right now. You're going through the schools. My advice to you is to continue to engage in the process. There's so much information out there, and the staff is so willing to take questions, give tours, speak to you individually. And each school, you'll see, will have their own informational sessions available to you. Never be so set on something that you wouldn't take something better. You're going to learn a lot about the process going through it, and it might open your eyes up to something that you've never really seen for your family, for your life. And then the third thing I would just say is that enjoy every single moment. It goes by so fast. Welcome again, and good luck with your choices, and whatever the choice might land on, I'm sure you'll have a great experience. Thank you. Next up, I'm going to turn it over to Christina Shea and Mary Beth O'Brien.
Hi everyone, good evening. Nice to see everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I am the early education manager for the district, so I have the privilege to be the first person to welcome families into the program, to do expansion work and work with all of you. So I'm super happy to be here, so thank you very much. One of the most important aspects of the kindergarten experience is to watch your child grow and flourish, make friends, learn, grow, play, explore with their peers and their teachers. Academically, you'll see them learn letters, numbers, begin to read, all of the most important part for the foundation tools to start in the district. As your children get ready to transition to kindergarten, be sure to be enthusiastic. Tell them how excited you are for them, that this is a big transition and that you're proud of them. Read with them daily, look at books, ask them questions, be engaging with them, try to be involved in anything you can with them, enjoy the time. Have fun learning, be proud of them when they tell you something. We're just so excited to welcome them to the schools. There's lots of choices with the 9 elementary schools. Similar to Jessica, all of them are wonderful. You're going to find the school that best meets the needs of you and your family. Over the summer, one last little piece, over the summer you'll be receiving information about kindergarten screening. So we do kindergarten screening. The screener is just a quick snapshot of your child's development, looking at language, physical, OT, PT, physical, all those things are going to be evaluated by their classroom teacher. What we have learned about this opportunity is it's really a wonderful sense of belonging for you. So this will happen the first 3 days of school. Your kindergarten students won't start for the first 3 days. They'll start after that. And at that opportunity, you get to go to your child's school. You meet the classroom teacher, the teaching staff. The children will do the screener with their classroom teacher. You'll be able to go in, ask questions. This past year, it was so exciting to be part of it. The aides and paraprofessionals would tell you when the children's specials were, when they had gym, what lunchroom looked like, what snacks you could bring. So it's just a really wonderful new opportunity that we've added to the kindergarten experience. So be on the lookout it'll come through the newsletters, summer programming, information like that will come, and I just really encourage you to take the time to enjoy that opportunity with your children. Now we are going to play a video where one of our kindergarten teachers and her students are going to share what they think is important for you to know about going to kindergarten. So once again, welcome to kindergarten, and thank you for sharing your children with us.
So one of the projects I've done with parents on the first day of school is based on the book called The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. And in this book, the little raccoon is going off to his first day of school, and he's very worried and sad and nervous and goes through all those feelings our kindergartners feel. And I had the parents trace their hand on a piece of paper, and we put it up on our kissing hand wall so that whenever the students feel that they're missing home, they can go up and find their mom or dad's hand and remind themselves that they're just a few hours away from seeing them again. So some things that parents can do to prepare their children for kindergarten is to really focus on the self-care skills. It may not seem like that big of a deal, but when you're a teacher in a class of over 20 kids, having students who can zip up their own coats, put on their own gloves, unzip and zip back up their lunch boxes, making sure that kids can blow their own nose, sneeze into their elbow, helps to not spread the germs that are sometimes very prevalent in the kindergarten classrooms.
Read, learn, and do math equations. No, and you have to do writing. You have to do writing and my tooth is lost.
Another thing we encourage in kindergarten is to make sure that children are helping each other. It's another way for them to build friendships and to show that they can solve problems together as a community without an adult always there.
That's a good question. How did you make all new friends?
He said hi. I just said hi and then said, what's your name? How I made friends is going from home to all kinds of places. My eyes are looking straight ahead. I'm ready for the call.
Learning how to handle the routines of the classroom, they're learning how to access the materials on their own, but all the while they're also building their identities as students and as learners, as writers, readers, mathematicians.
You can be nervous at the beginning of the year, but you don't have to be nervous at in the middle or at the end of the year.
When do you get to go out on the playground?
After we eat your cheeseburger.
So sometimes the biggest concern we hear is that parents are worried that if their child will fit in, if they're going to be well liked, how they're going to make friends. And we do a lot of things purposefully in kindergarten to cultivate that, because those skills aren't just natural for children. One of the things is to be able to celebrate the uniqueness that each child brings and all of their unique qualities inside and out. And we do a lot of things through self-portraits. We share stories about our families and about our likes and dislikes, and we make connections.
I like about kindergarten because we get to meet new friends. First you do arrival, and then you do morning reading, and then word study, and then you do and then you go to the bathroom, and then you do reader's workshop, and then read aloud, then math workshop, and then lunch, then you go to recess, and then you go to the bathroom again, and then you do PE, and then you do snack and mindfulness, and then you have choice time, and then you go back home.
Another concern that many caregivers have about children going to kindergarten for the first time is how they're going to get to kindergarten and safely get back from kindergarten. And so children who ride the bus, all the schools actually have very explicit lessons on how students enter the bus, line up for the bus, wait for the bus, where they sit on the bus. Oftentimes the bus drivers will have kindergarten students sit in the front of the bus, so it's less overwhelming. And within a couple of weeks, the kids have those routines down pat.
Don't worry, school will be fun. I like school. I love school. And then we go from A to Z, but what goes from Z to A? Zebra.
Oh, that's good.
I'd just like to introduce Mary Beth O'Brien. She is the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment.
Hi, it's so good to see everybody here. How many of you are sending your child to kindergarten for the first time? How many of you already have children who have gone through kindergarten or are already in school? So you can support me in this. Everyone who raised your hand first, bring tissues on the first day. Your children will be fine. They're going to walk in like proud little peacocks, going into school so excited to say goodbye to you, and you're going to be the ones that need the tissues. Yeah. But rest assured, one of the best things, and having been a principal for several years and welcoming new kindergartners and new families each and every year, it is the best day and worth the memories. So we're really excited to have you here as you choose your next school. And you have 9 to choose from. So here in the Office of Teaching and Learning, one of the things that we want to ensure, every school, do I need a microphone? Do I? Oh, virtual. This is known as a recognizable voice, so the louder it is, you'll just remember it tonight when you're laying your head on your pillow. So ultimately, one of the things that we want to ensure in the Office of Teaching and Learning is that while we have 9 elementary schools, and each school is unique and definitely puts their stamp on making sure you feel that sense of belonging at that individual school, in the Office of Teaching and Learning, one of our goals is to make sure that every child, no matter the school that you attend, you have a common and equitable experience so that the curriculum and the things that you're learning are the same on the north side of town and the south side of town. And those experiences, similar to what our scholars shared with you on this video, is that the school day is very structured, it's filled with fun and exciting things that really make learning come alive, and that your children are coming home and teaching you things that you thought you knew better than they did, right? But they are now the experts. So ultimately, as you go through today and you get to know some of our support and the different programs that we have here, please reach out. There are opportunities for you to kind of take a look at what curriculum we're using and what some of those resources are. But ultimately, we can always do better. So one of the most important things that I'm going to urge you now is how can you get involved and how can your feedback make us better? So we like to hear from you and we like to know what things you'd like to see and what things we can do to really make sure that what your students are learning is resonating with them so that they grow into wonderful, amazing scholars through their educational journey. So welcome, enjoy tonight, and when I see you come September, I'll hand you a tissue. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Tremblay, Madam Chair Barnhill, and Mrs. Shea and Mrs. O'Brien for joining us tonight. So, when you, in an effort to answer as many questions as you may have, I want to highlight the kindergarten booklet, which can be found on the main page of the Department of Student Registration, and that has been shared with you through previous communications that you received. We hope that you use the booklet as a resource as you go through the registration and assignment process. Before I go on, I just want to point out a few important pages on the booklet. On pages 1 and 2 is going to be a list of the required documents. On page 3 is going to be the information about how assignments are made, and we talk about controlled school choice. On page 5, we talk about our dual language programs. Page 6 and 7, you're going to hear about you're going to read about the transportation policy. Page 8, there's a calendar of school tours and important dates. On page 9 has school hours. The elementary school profiles start on page 10. And information about before and after school programs is on page 19. Please be sure to read that booklet. We take a lot of time and effort to make the booklet as useful as we can to parents. We're always looking for feedback if it's something that doesn't make sense, because to us everything makes sense because we live and breathe that process, but with different perspectives and a fresh set of eyes, it might not. So if you have any suggestions, we'd love to hear from you, because that booklet is for you, for your family, to make the information as useful as possible. So one of the best ways that you can learn about our schools is to take advantage of our school tours. You do not have to wait for your registration appointment to schedule tours. We encourage you to schedule your tours online by going to the Department of Student Registration website. And tours are intended for adults only. And why is that? We understand that you might have to bring your child, but if you tour the school with your child might think that that's the school they're gonna go. So just a little pointer in order to not confuse your child, because you're gonna tour many schools, and so when you receive the assignment letter, that's when you're gonna know your child's gonna be assigned to. At your phone registration appointment, you're gonna speak with your registrar, you're gonna submit the required documents, you're gonna learn about our programs. If there's a second language spoken at home, then you're gonna hear and gonna be informed about the language proficiency test their child needs to take. That's a state mandate. And also we're gonna go over the school choice form. Please note that we mail the school choice form once your child's registration is complete. So you will not receive that form until everything is all set. We received all the documents and there are no other pending questions. So we have 4 schools that provide the dual language program in Framingham. We have the dual language Spanish program at Barbieri. The entire school is dual language. So that school doesn't have a home district school. You have Brophy, which has a strand with the dual language program in the school. You have the dual language program that has English and Brazilian Portuguese, which is at Potter Road in Harmony Grove. And for those 2 schools is a strand. So there's 2 classrooms that have the program. And I want to point out that we are the only school district that in this area that has 4 schools with the dual language program. So that's a huge benefit to families. And it's a show of the effort and the work that Multilingual Education Department has done in order to be able to provide 4 schools with dual language program. If your child is receiving special education services, he or she will participate in the controlled school choice lottery if your child is in the inclusion or therapy-only program. If your child is going to be on the sub-separate program, he or she will not participate in the lottery. If you are unsure what program your child will participate, there are representatives from the special education department here today, and they can help you with that information. It is important that you submit your school choice by the deadline of Friday, April 5th. Your child's registration is not complete if we do not receive your school choice, and your child will not participate in the lottery. So please be sure that you submit your school choice form on time. If you have any questions, if you submit the form, you're unsure if it was received, you can contact us and we'll let you know if we received the form or not. Okay? All right, so let's talk about how kindergarten assignment, what is the kindergarten assignment process, how the assignments are made. This information is available on page 3 of the kindergarten booklet. Once the deadline for returning the choice form has passed, which is April 5th, we begin the assignment process. We assign students using a controlled choice program with a couple of exceptions. Some students require a special education program or program for English language learners that may be available only in certain schools. In those cases, families work with the staff of those programs to determine the best program for their student. For all other students, the assignment process follows these steps. We begin by looking at everyone's first choice. First to be assigned are students requesting the dual language program at Barbieri, Brophy, Potter Road, and Harmony Grove. We assign sibling preference first. It is important to know that the sibling preference applies to the school building only, not to the dual language program. We do the best that we can to assign all siblings to a dual language program, but should there be more requests than seats available in the dual language program, your child will go through a lottery, and then your child get assigned to the one of the other 2 classrooms that would have that would not have the dual language program. For Barbieri, sibling preference will be assigned to a dual language classroom because the entire school has the dual language program. Then we assign students whose families want to use their home district preference for dual language. Then we assign third are all the other first choice dual language requests, and then all other second choice dual language requests. Second to be assigned are students who want to use the sibling preference as their first choice. Please note that your child has a sibling preference if there's an older sibling currently in elementary school now, and that sibling will be there next year. Assigned third are students who do not have a sibling preference but choose their home district school as their first choice. If you have any questions about which school is your home district school, please be sure to see us at the table of Department Student Registration, and we can give you that information. Assigned fourth are the students whose first choice is not a sibling preference or home district school. If you have any additional questions, please be sure to come see us because I can give you numerous examples. But really, at the end of the day, what matters to you is your example, your case, your home district. So please be sure to see us, and we can help you with any questions that you have about your school choice and what's your home district preference. We are glad to help you. We love to talk, so just come see us. All right, let's talk about waiting lists. So we have two waiting lists. We have the dual language program waiting list. Any student who's not assigned to their requested dual language program will be placed on the dual language waiting list. The dual language program waiting list remains active until March 31st, 2025. For the general education, shelter English immersion, SCI inclusion waiting list, these are names for programs. For the standard classrooms, the waiting list will be capped at 44 students and will be maintained for the top two choices if assignment to a first or second choice was not possible. If the first or second choice school waiting list has reached 44 students, we will add your child to the next waiting list. That waiting list will dissolve on Monday, September 30th, 2024. If a student does not get a seat through the waiting list process, families can submit a transfer request in April of 2025 by filling out the school transfer form. That form will be available on our website on April 2025. And the transfer process, all transfer requests will follow the guidelines for approval and denial of school transfers. Assignment notification. You're going to find out what school your child was assigned by Friday, May 10th. In case you decide that you're no longer going to have your child attend Framingham Public Schools because of whatever reason, you're moving out of Framingham, or you decided to enroll your child in private school, please be sure to let us know by no later than May 17th. There's a lot of families who go on a waiting list who are eager to hear that a child no longer needs that seat, so please be sure to let us know in case you go through the process and you decide, I'm not going to have my child attend Framingham Public Schools. But we hope you don't do that. We want you here with us. So once you receive the kindergarten assignment, then your next step is the kindergarten orientation, which will take place on Monday, June 3rd. You're going to have a lot of information on your assignment email. Please be sure to read that email. There's about 4 pages worth of information. When we send the email, we send the assignment, the school. We send information about important dates. We send the school calendar. We send any other information I can't think of right now because there's just so much information that we provide. We really try to tailor the information to as much information that you need in order for your child to be ready to start the school year and you feel comfortable and know that you have all the information that you need. So, how do you stay in touch after the whole process is done? Please be sure to visit the Framingham Public Schools Department Student Registration websites. Rochelle and Mariah do an amazing job making sure that they keep our websites up to date with as much information as possible. Please visit the Framingham Facebook page. Please check your email. That is one very, very important habit that I please ask you to start having if you don't, because that's how we communicate most and foremost with families. You always get an email with information. So if there's something that someone said to you, they say, "Oh, I don't know anything about that," you might have received an email about that because we send a lot of information out. So please be sure to check your email. And in case after you do the registration, you receive the assignment, everything's done, maybe in the summertime you move, you need to let us know about your new address or a new email contact information. Please contact us at Department of Student Registration so we can update that information. We work throughout the year. We are there 12 months, so we want to make sure that we are able to reach you and have the latest and greatest contact information for you. So thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. Staff from Department of Student Registration, school departments, before and after school programs, and local agencies are present at the cafeteria to answer your questions. To find out where staff from a specific school program is located, please refer to the map that was handed out to you at the entrance. In case you did not get the map, please stop by a Department Student Registration table, which is right here close to the entrance of the auditorium, and we can give you the map. And on behalf of all Framingham Public School departments, welcome class of 2037. And we look forward to working with you and your family. Thank you for joining us.